A group of people is marching in Durban under the banner, quote-unquote, "Stand with Ukraine." South Africa has seen a rise in protests in solidarity with Ukraine. On Tuesday, the Ukrainian Association in South Africa staged a protest outside the International Relations offices in Pretoria. eNCA's Dasen Thathiah is following that story and joins us now for an update. And Dasen, in terms of that protest, where is it headed, and is there a specific memorandum of demands, or is it more symbolic to show solidarity with Ukraine?
It's certainly symbolic to us, and I just want to give you a sense of what's going on around us now. So we're on the Durban beachfront. This is the promenade, and I'm sure you can hear from that sound that it is a march that is attracting quite a bit of attention here as the Ukrainian Association of South Africa makes its point and takes its stance against that invasion by Russia. So it's garnered quite a bit of support. You'll see that there are some traditional Zulu dancers that are leading the march. There's a lot of color, lots of people waving flags, there are slogans, placards, and as they move through the promenade, they've been marching now for about 20 minutes or so. They are getting a lot of attention and in some cases support from the people around. I want to take you to a woman who speaks for the Ukrainian Association of South Africa, Ms. Katia Fekina. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with the meaning, particularly behind this, and what you hope it will achieve here in Durban.
Okay, this specific march is done to push South African government not to be silent and not to stay neutral in this horrible situation. We have specific demands that we ask them to do, which are publicly and without reservation condemn the Russian invasion of Ukraine, allow visa-free entrance to South Africa to Ukrainians whose family and members are temporarily or permanently living in South Africa, and tell Putin to stop this insane madness in whichever way they can. The whole world is helping. South Africa is staying quiet. It's not acceptable. Country, the cornerstones of South African constitution are freedom, democracy, human rights. You can't not support Ukraine. I'm talking South Africa. By keeping silent, they go against their principles, against their main legacy left behind by Mandela, which is freedom of speech, freedom of movement, democracy and human rights.
So I see your list of demands here. Is this going to be formally presented to anyone as this march?
It has been already presented to the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Naledi Pandor. These protests and peaceful marches have been happening every day since last Thursday in Cape Town, in Pretoria. These petitions have been out and officially, registered. While here in Durban, unfortunately, Durban Council was not very enthusiastic in giving us permission to do this. We had to wait.
That was part of the delay in holding it here.
Yes. Well, we were also organized. They gave it to us on Wednesday, but we decided to do it on Sunday to bring more people in and to have more people on the streets so we can bring awareness, bring attention of all South Africans and say that this is not just Ukrainian war.
I want to pick up on that point, Katia. I know that you've said, and others have also criticized the South African government for their stance on this, but are you finding that among locals and among South Africans broadly, are you seeing the kind of support that you had anticipated? And here at this march that we are at, have you attracted enough of the local support from South Africans themselves?
Look, from my friends and from the people around, I see most of the people are human beings. They want to live in peace. They don't know about politics. They don't worry about any bricks and schmicks.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about BRICS that South Africa, should reconsider even being a part of. So I personally see a lot of support from my friends, and I hear a lot of South Africans are supporting Ukraine. But we are talking government level. We are talking ANC. We are talking people who actually can make a change by a little simple move. Let our families come here without visas at the moment. The whole world is taking refugees in, while South Africa is expecting them to get visa from where? There is no embassy in Kiev left. So this is a very simple but very helpful thing that can be done easily. We obviously want them to also officially state that they are against the war.
Are you convinced that you would be able to force the hand of government in getting it to make that kind of declaration?
I can only do what I can do, and we can only hope.
So beyond this march, what other protests or demonstrations do you have planned?
In Durban, so far we were busy with this one. We are going to do more, but at this point nothing specific is planned. I know that Pretoria and Cape Town are on the streets every day. Durban was a little slower in this due to, I already told you, delay from the permit. But we will be trying not to stay quiet, not to be silent, and to bring more awareness.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, Katja Fedkina Tulas. That's the one of the organizers of this march here. So as they make their way now down towards the end point, I think you would have picked up there that this march has a broader purpose. The one is that, as we spoke about at the beginning, it is symbolic, but it then bolsters the written demands that have already been submitted to government.
All right, I've got to thank you for that update. That's eNCA's Dasen Thathiah out in Durban, updating us on that protest. Let's stay with